Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to have part 9 of our beginner to 2K guide. And before we hop right into the video though, I have a couple announcements to make. So tomorrow I will be streaming Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition for the first time. They have their little streaming weekend going on, and I will definitely be taking part in that. So be sure to join me on stream tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern or 24 GMT. I will leave a link to my stream at the top of the description as usual, so be sure to check that out and join me tomorrow for some awesome Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition early release content. And another thing, I will probably be uploading some of the DE content onto YouTube, so that might slow down our guides, but as a promise to you guys, I will not stop making this guide just because DE is released, or when DE gets released. So even if it's slowed down a little bit, I will not stop making this guide until we hit 2K and until I properly finish it off. Alright, with that out of the way, let's talk about today's episode. So I'm going to be playing here against Mr. Ray. He's from the United States, and he is sitting around 1815, which is a very solid rating. He also has 600 games played, so he's definitely very stable around this level. Today I'm going to be focusing on how to recover from a bad start. And I'm not talking about maybe losing a villager, I'm talking about getting lamed and being down some food. So I'm going to not take one of my boars, and I'm not going to take two of my sheep. So I'm going to be down a total of around 600 food in the Dark Age. Now, you could take this as, having a slow start in the sense of you lost a villager to a boar, or you took a bad fight with the men at arms. Anything any deficit in the early game, you can apply some of the tips that I'm going to show you guys today to those situations. So this is more of just like a general, I have a bad start, what do I do kind of deal. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Alright, so just gonna double check and make sure we're all working here. Yeah, looks good. Ooh, talked before the intro was ready. Alright, good. And looks like my opponent's ready. Good luck, have fun. Thank you for waiting. I was actually messing up my intro there for a while, and my opponent waited patiently, so shout out to him for that. So yeah, I'm not going to take one of my boars, and I'm not going to take two of my sheep for this particular one. So it's going to really be about how to recover from having that bad start. So as usual, we're going to start this one off. We're going to sheep scout, bring in one sheep, and look for the rest. There we go. Bring one more back in. Alright, so we got slabs to this one, so that's a pretty reasonable civ here. Definitely one of the top tier civs for 1v1 Arabia. So we'll see how we can make use of that. And my opponent is Goth, so not the best civ at all here for him. So slabs with Goths, a very clear civ one. Let's think of the matchups for a little bit here. I mean, Goths in late game, they're notoriously good for their infantry spam, but until that early game, or until that late game, sorry, they don't have much going for them because they don't really have too good of an economy bonus, if any at all. And they don't really have any solid options in Castle Age or early Imp, like fully upgraded Arbalest, for example. They're lacking the Arbalest tech for that, so definitely not the best civ until that late game infantry spam. So my plan is to take advantage of my early game economy. So these are the two sheep that I will not use here. In fact, let's go ahead and send them to the corner. And those will be the sheep I will not use the whole game. Alright, so let's continue talking about here. So Goths really slow to get going, and an infantry in the late game. Slavs on the other hand, very quick, very good economy, really good options in Castle Age with the Knight spam, because they have the farms to back it up. And then in Imp I've got options of infantry and siege, so I can definitely be using those to hold the Goth spam. So Joshina champs and maybe heavy scorpions or onagers comes to mind. Alright, as far as the late game, we have that sorted out. In the early game, I'm definitely thinking scouts, but since I'm going to be down a boar and two sheep, I might have to play a little bit more defensive with my scouts. You don't really want to open men at arms when you are getting lamed this hard. So if you are down a boar and two sheep in a real game, I recommend not opening scouts. I recommend either opening a drush, sorry, not opening men at arms, either opening a drush or opening scouts or straight archers. The reason you can open scouts still is that we're going to drop a couple farms in the Dark Age to help make up for the fact that we're down this much food. So let's bring in our first boar here. Standard start for the beginning. I'm not going to take this boar, and I'm not going to take these two sheep. And let's see what I can do to try and recover some of that lost food. Alright, so first, my scouting is pretty good here. I want to do one more loop around the front. I still don't know too much about my map there, so let's go ahead and make sure we have that all figured out before moving out. The rest of my map is pretty well scouted though. I see both my stones on the mini-map, all 3 gold, so it's looking quite nice. And there we go. And we're getting that mill down as soon as possible. Right, good stuff. So I feel like I'm actually down one more sheep, actually. I feel like I'm missing one sheep from somewhere. I'm not sure where, though. But I am missing one sheep because I should have two. This is very curious. It's very possible that my opponent actually did lame me. Alright, so what do you want to do to try and recover from this? So let's say we're down actually 3 sheep. This could be interesting. The first thing you want to do is send a 5th to berries. So I'm going to assume you already know you're going to get lamed. You know, you already lost your boar or you're down the sheep. Send a 5th to berries. So right now I'm going to pause. So this is the important situation here in Dark Age. Normally Dark Age goes very smoothly and there shouldn't be any problems for you guys around 17, even 1800 level. However, if you do get lamed, that can throw you off quite a bit. So let's talk about what are things you can do. The first option is to send a 5th to berries. It's such an easy option. You can do it every time, and it just helps you get a little bit more food income from a source that doesn't really require any additional investment. A farm requires investment, whereas berries, you just kind of add that villager in. You don't want to add too many though, because then they start becoming inefficient. So adding a 5th and even a 6th is fine. So we're going to start by adding a 5th. The next step is actually to take the deer. So until now, we've been ignoring the deer. But since we're getting lamed this hard, we're going to go ahead and push the deer. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that with the scout if you guys don't know already. So let's go ahead and go for the deer now. And then the final step is to seed a farm or two if we really need extra food. Alright, so first step, send the 5th to berries. Let's go ahead and send one more to wood because I might need to farm. Remember, I'm down a boar and now 3 sheep because I'm missing one more. Not sure where he went. Maybe you guys can let me know in the video, actually. Comment down below where that sheep went because I've got no idea. I have no idea. Oh, he is taking my boar, so I imagine he lamed me. So he actually lamed me a sheep, and I'm down 2 sheep and a boar. I'm really happy he took it, actually. So I'm actually getting lamed here. I actually didn't tell him to do that, so it worked out perfectly. I've never been so happy to get lamed. Let's get my house down, let's get my deer in, and right away I can start seeding some farms because I'm running out of food under my TC. So right away, let's start seeding a farm. Alright, there we go. Pushing in the deer as well. You know what? Maybe even one more to wood to be able to afford a few more farms as well. That could be helpful. Remember, we are down quite a bit of food here. So we might not click up at the time we want to. We might click up 22 or 23 pop, but we'll see how we can adapt depending on when we click up here. Alright, so we're going to send the 5th to wood here. Perfect stuff. So again, normally I don't go 5th to wood this early. Normally I'd add a few more into boar and stuff, but since I obviously got lamed, I have to adapt. And this is how I'm going to adapt. So again, 21, I cannot click up now. I simply don't have the economy. Let's seed one more farm here. I've got 2 deer. I'm going to lure one more. And that should be enough food for the time being. I will go up on 23 pop, I believe. Actually, no, I think we can do 22 here, actually. Especially with this deer that's going to finish. Let's try and do 22 pop. Taking some stragglers with these guys. I don't want to overcrowd the deer here. With 5 on berries, these deer and these farms, I think I'll be able to click up after Loom is done at 22 pop here. Let's see. And I am correct. I'm going to be clicking up here at a very reasonable time. Let's put that one last deer, and now let's go scout. We have a lot of scouting to make up for, and that's the downside of luring deer, of course. Alright, our second wood line is kind of in existence. Let's take it up here. Our map is quite bad, so getting lamed, we got distracted a little bit, and we didn't really look at our map too much. Let's pull one villa off berries. That'll be 5 and 5 on the lumber camps, perfect stuff, and 4 on berries. So we've pretty much recovered perfectly from this lame. The only thing is we're 22 pops, so we're maybe a little bit slow on the scouts, and we can probably expect some men-at-arms from Goths because that's a really good opener for them since they get the faster working barracks and even the cheaper men-at-arms in Feudal Age. Let's go ahead and make our barracks. Everything else stays the same. And we're going to go scouts here, but we're going to go defensive scouts because we're up a little bit later than normal, and we have a little bit less food in the bank. So we're going to probably just stay defensive at first, because also we don't have the scouting information needed. And oh, this is interesting. I got kind of lucky here. He's going to go forward. Alright, so right away, guys, this is interesting. This is turning into a pretty tough game. So I got lamed. I'm down a lot of food. My opponent is probably going to men-at-arm forward me now. And I know you're thinking, how do you know he's going to go men-at-arms? I only saw the stone. However, I saw 2 on stone. Normally for tower, I should see like 4. And also, Goths are notoriously good at men-at-arms in the early game. So I'm assuming he's going to go men-at-arms plus tower since I scouted the stone. So that's how I came to that conclusion. So now right away, I have to scout my map and decide how I want to protect it. I initially commented on how bad my map was when I saw that I only had one woodline that was kind of accessible for this early game. So I actually have to defend this in a very aggressive manner. I can't let him just slowly take away my woodline and then my berries and then push me off to the back. I have to try and fight. I might even have to pull out some good quick walls in order to really defend my map. So let's see how I can do it. I've got a gold forward, a stone forward. I've got a stone all the way in the back if you guys are looking at the mini map here, and I've got a gold at the back. So I don't really have to fight for my golds, but I have to fight for my wood line. Let's keep that in mind, okay? Don't have to fight for gold or stone, but I have to fight for my wood. Let's see how I'm gonna play it out here.
Yes.
Cool, so let's send a scout right away back to base. And let's make sure our economy is all set here. We're going to make a very defensive stable, by the way. I'm not going to make it out here where it can get towered. What you can do as well is do some building scanning to try and find his units. If you guys don't know about this, I have a video very early on my channel. And there he is. It's red, so I know he's got units there. So let's back up. I now see the militia. I see the house. It's indeed a men-at-arms forward. Let's make the stable very defensively here. Get both my upgrades since I could afford them. If not, you can skip out on the farm. And let's make sure I'm not getting towered behind my wood. That's the most important thing for me. That's the first thing I will check. And what I'll also consider is, since I'm very open and I don't have the best scouting, is I will get town watch right away. Alright, town watch will really help with the defense here. Let's build my farms away from his towers. He's going to build towers here. I'm going to farm away from that. Look at that. Alright. And let's see where he's going for this militia. So he's actually not going towards my woodline. This is fine. I don't have to counter tower this at all. In fact, this is good. That means that my woodline is now safe. Look at town watch. I see so much more of the map now. And now let's go ahead and make use of the stone in the corner. Already start mining stone so I can be able to counter tower in peace. So the first tower, I'm going to give it to him. It denies one farm. I'm cool with that. I'll even delete it here. I don't need it. It's going to get denied, no problem. Alright, we're going to go over to the stone now, and now I'm going to be able to counter tower and really defend my wood and my berries, which is in fact what I wanted to defend in the first place here. So this is looking very good for me. And it would have been different if he attacked from this side. I would have had to defend aggressively. Now I can be passive because his attack is actually not doing a whole lot if you think about it. So I'm going to send 4 to stone. This could be good for defensive towers and also counter towers in late Feudal Age. And the rest I would just continue making farms, again, away from the towers. He's going to build towers here. I'm not going to farm here. They will just get denied. I'm going to farm here. Alright? It's very important to place your farms away from the tower. And that's probably one of the best ways to defend against an early tower rush. It's going to help your economy so much in the early game. Gonna continue producing scouts. That's my only real unit. And now he's trying to overinvest, maybe overextend. Nope, he's still fine. I see the spear. I need a range, or else I cannot defend men-at-arms with a spearman. All right, so I will get a range right away. Get even a house. I'll keep making some scouts, and again I will get denied one farm. No big deal. Let's pull her off, and we'll delete that farm. But if I'm getting denied 1-2 farms, I'll give him the space. But as soon as he presses a little bit further, I'm going to counter tower. I'm going to use that stone that I have saved up for it. So let's see. I'm giving him priority. I'm letting him fight. If he wants to fight, if he dives here to fight me, I will just simply fight with my villas and scouts. And now this tower is a little bit over ambitious for him. Let's do a counter tower. And now is when I'll take the fight. Ooh, little step for me. Get a couple scrims out to deal with the spearmen. Alright, and again, just trying to keep making farms away from the line of fire of the towers, even if they're a bit inefficient. Alright, now he's overextended. Let's see if I can do a really good punishment move here. Delaying his villas, getting my tower up, and there it is. The defense is there. There's no more pressure he can really do with his tower rush because I've defended with my own defensive tower here. And again, if I did a defensive tower here, I might not have had the stone to do the defensive tower here. Whereas now, I let him do the useless towers, and I did a defensive tower when it mattered most. Alright, so at this position, I've got to make another decision. So I have to think about how I'm going to counterattack and how I'm going to try and turn this defensive situation into an offensive situation for me, because I don't want to be defending all game. Defending is good, but you really only win games when you start to pressure your opponent. So I have to start thinking some of the things I can do to attack him. I'm seeing my scouts, and at the moment they're kind of useless at home. So I'm thinking I might be able to use my scouts to counterattack, and the sooner I do this, the better, because he might not have the spears in place to defend. So I'm going to probably send my scouts to attack. It looks like he's going to try and continue the tower rush. I've got stone in the bank. I've got skirmishers. I'm going to defend with towers and skirms. And if needed, I'll even get fletching from the blacksmith. So I've got a perfect defensive plan, and I've got a perfect offensive plan. And if I needed maybe some forward towers, I could consider doing that once I have a little bit more information on his map. So right now I've made a decision to send my scouts forward and defend with skirms. A very important decision and very crucial timing as well, because if I wait 1-2 more minutes, he might have too many spears at home when my scouts eventually reach there. All right, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and execute the plan. Defending with skirmishers and attacking with my scouts. Let's send my scouts right away. Let's see what his villagers are up to here. Not much. Okay, good stuff. My berries ran out, so I will continue farming. Again, even if they're inefficient, it's no big deal. Alright, now I gotta consider my gold, actually. I've got gold that's free here. I've got gold that's kind of free here. Looks like he's wrapping around. Town Watch is coming in really big right now. Town Watch is very important in this game. Alright, my scouts are going across the map again in box formation. He's looping around this side, so let's bring my skirms all the way to this side. That outpost is useless. I thought it was a tower. That outpost is completely useless. And if he towers here, I won't mind at all. Ooh, I thought it was idle. That was my fault. Alright, let's see. My skirmers will defend here. Oh, and look at the timing. Didn't I tell you the timing was crucial? And look at this. Because we went right away, we actually got rewarded with a few villagers that were stuck walling. So that's going to be pretty good for us. Not going to micro too hard. We're going to stay out of TC fire. Can we get one? Nope, not going to get a villager. Let's go back. No big deal. At this point, I'm going to probably need to start taking some gold. Let's go consider that. He does have a spear, but we have 5 scouts. We can kill that guy. Let's consider getting a blacksmith now. And we're going to start moving on to gold as well. Ooh, gotta be careful. My micro's not amazing here. So I mentioned last time I've got too much on wood here. So I'm going to just take some villas off wood and send them to gold. Again, that was in my last video on economy. Alright, very good stuff with my scouts here. Just gonna make sure my economy is all good at home. Make sure I'm balancing my resources. And slowly I'm saving up for Castle Age here. Taking some stone, taking some gold. I have pretty much all my resources in check. And we can run out with the... Ooh, he walled me in! Okay, so I'll just try and trade my scouts now for one more villager. That was a really good play from him. Okay, well played. Well played. That was just a good play from him. I got walled in. I did get a villager, and it did cause some panic, though. So those scouts were still pretty useful. And considering how useless they were just sitting here, I'd say that was a good trade. Alright. So I don't know where he's going with this tower rush, but I've got vision on all my important places. I could building scan. That helps a lot. It's really advanced tip, I would say. Alright, there he is. Okay, so we've got some villas getting gold. Skirms will defend. Notice I didn't make fletching. I didn't feel the need for it. My skirms are defending just fine without it, so I don't actually have to invest into fletching. But if you did go for it, it's not a bad thing. It's just, you know, just slightly delays your castle time. Alright, so let's go ahead and go up to Castle Age. I'll drop some gold here. We're up to Castle Age, and now I've got to make one more decision, which is what to do in Castle Age. I think I can wrap this game off because he invested 4 villas and men-at-arms and towers, and he did very little damage with them. So I think I've got a big lead, especially considering the fact that I'm slabs. So let's get my gold mining upgrade here. Since the mining camp is pretty bad, I'm going to get a second mining camp on here. Because my first one was touching. That was actually my fault. And now let's consider the unit I want to go for. So obviously we said Slavs are really good with their all-in Castle Age, especially with their night play, maybe Knight in Siege. So let's try and go ahead and go for that in Castle Age and use my skirms to defend these few men-at-arms that are left. So let's get a second staple here. Get my upgrades as per usual. Alright, let's run these villas back again. Normally I could quick wall, but we're not going to quick wall for a little bit, and we can just fight with our villas and run the low HP ones back. That's how you defend men-at-arms, by the way. If they start fighting, you fight with villas and your army, and then the ones you focus, you run them back. If he gets 1-2 villas, it's not a big deal. It's better to clear them up than have them constantly idling your economy, if that makes sense. So I'll just chase them away, use my skirms to pick them off. If scouts would be able to do the same thing as well in the early game. And then I'll simply fight them with all my villas. And again, I might lose a couple of villas here. Oh, that wolf is coming in clutch. Oh, he lives. So I lost 1 villager to those men-at-arms, but I cleaned them up. And again, now it's a bit late. Those men-at-arms are coming in at 22 minutes. But if they came in earlier, I'd do the same thing. Alright, so this is going to be probably my final pause of the episode. I think I'm going to finish the game when I get to Castle Age. I've got a lot of resources for knights, but I also have another abundance of an important and rare resource, which is the stone. We rarely have this much stone at this moment, and this is amazing for us because we're able to drop a castle in one of two spots, either defensively to clear up the towers, or offensively to really put the pressure and maybe even go for a 1 TC all in Castle Age, which is something I like to do when I have a way to get a really aggressive position on my opponent with either a forward siege or a forward castle. In this case, I have the economy to do both. So let's go ahead and invest our resources into that push. And the reason I'm considering it is because that's the best way to spend my 750 stone. If I did a standard 2TC play, I only spend 200 of it, and I've got 550 of it floating doing nothing. So it's just the nature of my resources are pushing me towards this particular strategy, and it's also good in the civilization matchup because gods are very vulnerable early and Slavs are very good in the early to mid game. Alright, so let's go ahead and drop a forward castle, a forward siege, and also be able to produce knights from 2 stables. Alright, so right away I'm going to send some forward fills. My scrims will escort them forward as well as some knights. Gonna get my eco upgrades as normal, and I'm gonna replenish the vills I pulled off on gold. We talked about this last episode. Let's send 5 vills forward here, away from his line of sight if possible. Send those guys forward. I'm keeping my eyes on the mini-map as well, because I don't know what kind of military he could be having at the moment. Let's go ahead and reseed these farms. A good upgrade with Slavs is to get heavy flow, by the way, because their farms run out faster. I'm not going to get it here because I want to invest into a forward push. I don't know what the best position for a castle is. Let's start with a siege shop first. And I'm bringing my knights in as well. Scrims are coming forward just because they're useless at home. If I needed them to defend, I would definitely do so. So let's do a very aggressive castle because he's still in the Feudal Age, so he can't do anything. If I drop a castle right there on his face, there's absolutely nothing he can do in the Feudal Age to stop this, besides maybe a defensive tower, but even then, it doesn't do a whole lot. I could afford only a Scorpion here. I could afford a Ram, actually. Let's get a Ram. Ideally, I wanted a Mangonel, but I can't really afford that, so let's go for the Ram. He sees the castle now. I'm pressuring him with knights, and again, the reason I'm able to do this is because I didn't take damage from his tower rush, and even though I got lamed, I was able to mitigate the advantage and just simply defend in Feudal Age and gain an advantage of my own. Alright, so he's going to go for the tower defense, but like I said, it's not really going to be enough because I have this other force of knights and siege knocking at his doorstep as well. And I'm on 1 TC. This is one of those times where a 1 TC push is very effective when you have that economy to be able to push with a forward castle or a forward siege workshop on a nice hill, which I of course have. This castle is going to go down on 2 towers, a TC, and his main gold. So there's no way he can recover after this, and he knows the same thing as me. He knows this is doomed, and he's just going to go ahead and call the game as he sees this forward castle. I hope you enjoy it. He's looking forward to the video. Awesome stuff. It's awesome to be able to play people or players that are, you know, also watching the guide, because they can just go back and watch it and see their mistakes as well. So let's comment a little bit on what he could have done better this game, as well as what we could have done better and why we ended up winning despite being down a lot of early game food in the Dark Age. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the Dark Age. I was down, in fact, 3 sheep. I think he stole 1 and I put 2 in the corner. And I was down a boar, he ended up stealing it. So he had 3 boars and an extra sheep. I was down 3 sheep and a boar. So right away, I had a really bad start. I managed to mitigate that advantage by sending a 5th villager to berries, going to wood a little bit earlier and seeding a couple farms, and most importantly, luring some deer. If I didn't have access to deer, I would have been in a lot more problems. The best thing to do then would be to go for a drush. It's the only thing you can do because you won't be able to go up to Feudal Age that fast. And if you do, if you send like all your villas to berries, get up to Feudal Age, you're not going to have enough economy to be able to produce any units there. So definitely go for a drush if you don't have access to deer in this exact situation. Alright, so that out of the way, let's move on to now the Feudal Age. Excuse me. Let's move on to the Feudal Age here, where he was actually going to go for a men-at-arm tower rush that I hadn't scouted until I saw him on stone, and then I assumed he was going to go men-at-arm towers. Indeed, I was right. This moment here, when he was running into our base, and we were deciding what to defend, I noticed I've got 2 golds here on the front, and a stone here on the front, But I noticed also that I didn't need those, even though you think you might, because it's your main gold and your main stone. I didn't, because I had the secondary stone in the back and the secondary gold in the back, which I didn't end up using, but it was there in case I needed it. His biggest mistake was attacking me on the right side, where there wasn't really any resources. He should have definitely attacked me on the left side, where my wood was, because like I said, that was my most important and vulnerable position on my map. So again, that was probably his biggest mistake, choosing the path of attack. If he attacked me on this side, I would have dropped my defensive tower almost instantly and made sure that I kept this wood line safe, because it was very important to me. You guys notice on this side, I barely reacted. I deleted a farm or two, I moved back, I took some stone, I played it calm and collected, and as soon as he overstepped, bam, I dropped my defensive tower and I say, no, this is too far. It was cool before, but now you're too far with this tower, because he was going to deny maybe 2 farms, maybe even 4 farms once he gets fletching. All right, so that was definitely something I was keeping in mind. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about in the Feudal Age was the fact that I got early Town Watch. The reason I got this was because my map was so spread out and it was impossible to keep tabs on everything without having a little bit of extra vision. Town Watch is 75 food and it's such an important upgrade in scouting or in seeing exactly where your opponent is going to be attacking you from, and seeing, you know, where the towers are coming up, especially behind my woodline. So once I got Town Watch, you guys noticed it was very easy to defend or to see what was happening on my map. All right, and then finally in Castle Age, I had the extra stone, and that's what made me consider the forward castle. I did a forward siege workshop as well. This push could happen without the castle, but the castle really just seals the deal. And the reason I went for this is partially due to the matchup, Goth being weak early and Slavs strong early, and also because of the position. I had the stone that I wouldn't normally be able to spend if I do a 3TC boom. However, if I go forward castle, I immediately spend all my stone, and then spending making a forward siege workshop spends my food and wood, my wood and gold, and then the knights on the food and gold. So again, the idea here in Castle Age is just to be able to spend your resources as quickly and efficiently as possible, and really just commit to a strategy. Notice how I sent everything forward. I didn't half-ass this castle. I sent 5 villagers. I could have sent more. I sent all my skirms, I sent my knights, and I made a siege workshop forward. If this failed, I lose. But it didn't fail because I invested everything into it. All right, so this is how you guys want to take a look at your strategies. Pick something that makes sense and then just go all in on it. And if it fails, well, then you lost fair and square, no problem. But if it succeeds, it's going to feel really good that you guys committed to a strategy, thought it through, and it ended up succeeding and paying off. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was useful. As usual, drop a comment and a like on the video if you guys did enjoy. And like I said, tomorrow, DE, 7 p.m. Eastern, 24 GMT. And yeah, should be a good one. So thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good day. Peace.